Rita Carp. Welcome to the Harp and the Habit, another edition of the High Valley Sports Online, our first edition of Barron's Basketball Coach Joe Wallace Coach's Show. Joined here by Coach Wallace and Assistant Coach Adam Martello. This segment sponsored by Trinity Health System and the Harp and the Habit. Barron's kick off the season in Hamburg, New York, as they take on the Hawks. Hawks against Hunger tip-off tournament at Hibbert College. They'll take on Lycoming on Friday, November 8th. That's this weekend. And their opponent the following day will be the winner or loser of the Hilbert or in Buffalo State, depending on the results. Coach Wallace, Coach Martello, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having
us. This is my time of the year. This is the greatest time of the year. Basketball season coming up. Put away the helmets and shoulder pads. We're getting ready for the real sport, the sport that has some skill. And we're really excited about a season that we're expecting big things from the Barons. How's the preseason been going for you?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a different feel to everything that's happening right now. That started all the way back, in late August with this group. I mean, the one thing right now, I mean, as a coach and coaching staff, like, you never feel you're quite ready to tip the thing up. You always want more time. But the level of compete, toughness, the fly around is at an all-time high level for our program right now, which has always kind of been our calling card, but we've taken that to another level. And that makes you feel good going into game one because, our mentality is to be punchers, right? We want to throw first punches against anybody we're playing. So I definitely feel, comfortable going into Friday that we're going to punch, we're going to compete, we're going to get after it. We still have a lot of things that we got to clean up this week going into Friday. But, yeah, I mean, the confidence as a group together is it's not been at this level since we've been here. So it's time to take that step forward and get results as a group right now.
Well, talking personnel, we don't want to get into anybody that's coming back. I want to talk to you and Adam a little bit about, because I know Adam's involved a lot on the of trying to get kids to come here and contribute, and how'd that go for you as far as, reaching out to different areas, and what area did you try and attack?
Yeah, I mean, Pittsburgh's always a stronghold for us, so we went after some kids in Pittsburgh. Got a really nice guard from Baldwin, Nate Richards. He's a freshman. Nice little point guard there. We got a kid from New Jersey named Vova Trotsko that's coming together pretty nicely. And then really, I mean, from the rest of the freshman class, it's really all over the place. Dayton, New York, Florida, Virginia, Louisiana. So, yeah, it's really kind of all over the place.
Well, that's great. I mean, I personally think that, you got a nice nucleus coming back.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at some of the personnel. When you look at Sawyer Butler, I think he was freshman of the year, right?
Yes.
Conference-wise.
Yes.
Malachi Rose Burton coming off an injury.
Yeah, I think that's like the main things to hit kind of on new guys coming is Malachi coming back. He was out all last year, from Woodsfield. And Malachi as a freshman gave us really good minutes, and he's a steady guard. He's strong and tough, physical and athletic. And then, the Travis Zimmerman from Wheeling Park, who was out last year.
Looking forward to seeing him.
Yeah, Travis is a great athlete. He brings a lot of energy, a lot of positive energy. He's like a good complementary piece. I mean, he can get on the glass. He's in transition. We're expecting big things out of both those guys because they both have played. They both have seasoned. And
Travis, he had some time where at Bethany.
At Bethany,
right?
yeah. He had 2 really good years there for them, and Travis. And it's a different environment. He's with different guys and different style of play and different expectations of what we ask out of Trav. But he's taking each week going forward and. He's ready to play. I mean, he hasn't. You take time. Same with Malachi. Those guys are just ready to just play and compete against somebody else right now. Yeah.
Well, you're going to go to the tip-off tournament up around the Buffalo area this weekend. That's going to be Friday, Saturday. Then you come back. You got the home opener at Finnegan Fieldhouse against Penn State, New Kensington.
Yep.
After that, you're going to play down Steubenville High School in the Steubenville Classic. That's sponsored by our good buddy Joe Lucchino at the Cedar One Group. You'll play Penn State Beaver.
Yes.
How about those 2 out-of-conference games? How you see those?
Those the two next week?
Yes.
Oh shoot, man! You know how that is right now. I mean, it's tough to even tell because they haven't gotten any games in yet, and yeah, I mean, we're head home, right? So we're going to be playing at Finnegan, then we're going to be playing down at Big Red, which is still a home court to us in a way, and yeah, those are games that we should should be comfortable and take care of. Yeah,
and I love the fact that you're down at Steubenville High School again for this second year, I believe.
Yeah, so we played 2 games there 2 years ago when the field house was offline because of the flood, and we had great support with that, and there's twofold to it. We want to keep doing that, and we want to give Josh Zimmerman, it's like a homecoming game in a way for him to play one last game down there, but it's nice. It's a good tie for community involvement with the program to be able to move off the hill to move a home game down there and just show that we how much we actually care about Steubenville. And this, we do have guys that come from, either all over the country, Pittsburgh area or wherever, but Steubenville is our home. It's what this program's always been about, is the Barons are Steubenville's team, and we want to continue to take that next step. And winning basketball games and winning at a high level makes that even more exciting. But just to give people, understanding that we do care that much about it. Yeah.
Well, I think, I've said it to you personally, and I say it publicly. I think what you're doing at the university, involving the community. I mean, you've done things to get the community involved. You even got some recognition from TV9, which I didn't ever think could happen. And it brings me back, to my days as a kid, whenever the town was into the Barons.
Yes.
And I think going down to Steubenville High School is just another way of reaching out to the community.
And there's nothing wrong with that because, when we first got here, there wasn't a lot of following to this whole thing, and we've had to keep taking steps with it. And the more you take purposeful steps to allow people to know that, we care. It means something to us that we want this community to take pride in the product we're trying to put in, not only the product of wins and losses, but the kind of guys we have and the way they compete and play the game means a lot to us. It really does.
And you're not recruiting the Ohio Valley just for the sake of recruiting it. You're looking for players.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. My philosophy on recruiting the Valley is if there's a kid that's going to play Division III basketball, then we want to be the place that he wants to play. Right, so whether that's Wheeling Central, Steubenville Central, Big Red, Park,
I love that attitude.
We want to be that kid's number one choice because why would he go anywhere else?
Exactly. We can. This is not an arrogance from us or anything, but this university, you can compare us in this region to anybody. Right, really, what's happening at the university itself. Okay, we've been growing the vision, the movement that's happening. You're getting a first-class education, and you're going to get. In our program, it's different. We're looking to mold these guys for 4 years that when they leave here, they leave as tough, real men. And you're not going to get that everywhere. This is not a recruiting pitch. This is not me saying anything bad about anybody that we recruit against. It's just totally different. And if you are a kid around here, why not? You're going to get challenged. If you're not tough, this is not the place for you. But if you are and you embrace this kind of attitude that we have here, you're going to reap so many benefits 20, 30 years down the road as a man in whatever profession you get into because of what the habits that we're trying to put into these guys and instill into them. Because life's hard, right? Life's hard, and we challenge these guys every day, and it's not just on the court, it's off the court. And we have standards in this program that are high, and it makes things harder to operate this program, but that's what we believe in. We believe in the old school values of it all. And, NCAA basketball, college basketball has changed in that way where there's a lot of entitlement, and we just don't believe in that. And we're never going to believe in that. We're not catering to any kid, right? We're going to cater to you to make you a better person, a better man, a better player out of the whole thing. Some people don't like it at first, but once they can kind of see, the process of what we're trying to do, they understand that at that point.
Well, like I told you this, I'll say it on there, first thing about the community involvement for Franciscan University, being from this area and seeing the university grow, and I've said it a million times, the biggest accomplishment was getting the university come off the hill.
Yes.
And that's since the university has come off the hill, it's been Katie bar the door because the involvement that the university and that you and your staff has had in the community makes me happy because I have children and grandchildren here, and I always envisioned Steubenville to be like Athens, Ohio, because the university where the whole thing is the university. I mean, some people may take that wrong, but, they're growing. They're progressing. I mean,
Yes.
you got a new, beautiful, big
Yes.
building up there that you just built, that just completed and opened up. And the second thing, I appreciate the access that you give me, because coming to your practices last year warmed my heart, because, I started coaching under Coach Watt in 1982, and you were running Coach Watt's drills that I ran. So basketball doesn't change. It's defend and rebound
Yes.
and score the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
pretty
basically
simple.
it.
Yeah.
Now, and seeing the toughness that you guys coach with, I loved, and your kids responded to it.
Yeah, they do. Because that's what it comes down to is, we always talk about that in the recruiting process. How are they going to handle how we are? Because it's not for everybody. It really isn't. It's not. Being here is not for everybody. Being in our program is not for everybody. And we have to find the right fits constantly. And we're up front. Like, when we have a kid on campus, we're going to sit there and tell them exactly what we do. We always say we're going to lift up the hood. Mm-hmm. And you can make the decision, if this is the right place for you or not. We're not salesmen. That's just not how we operate, because we do things differently. And it's tough to put it like your thumb on how that we operate differently. But it is a lot of old school values that just continue to stay in who we are, and that's the foundation of this whole thing.
Well, we had a chance to talk prior to us doing
Yes.
this here from the Harp and the Habit. This is the High Valley Sports Online. Ray Suckoch along with Coach Joe Wallace and Adam Martello. And before, we came on the air, we talked about, I personally said, show me something now. I mean,
yeah, definitely.
I've seen you guys build your program. You had an excellent freshman class last year. Guys that can compete. We're going to have one of them, Sawyer Butler. We're going to have him on here in a little bit. But, I think that you are in position to win some basketball games, more than your share this year in this conference, which is a tough conference. Let's talk about the conference a little bit, Joe.
You want to take that, or do you want me to go that
got
one?
it. You can
I mean, either one of you, because, the first thing I say was I was taken back when I started doing these games 3-4 years ago about the toughness of the conference.
Yeah.
I mean, the conference is no joke. I mean, it's you got to be ready to play basketball.
Oh, yeah.
Every conference game, you got to be ready.
You have to be
In
ready.
any conference game, anyone can win those games. That's what makes it fun. Is like you can never chalk up a game and think, okay, that's probably a win for us, or it's probably a lot. You can't. Every night's different. Every night, anyone can win, which is exciting, stressful, but it's exciting for that. And yeah, I mean the conference, the PAC is very, very strong right now with basketball, and it hasn't always been that way, but I think in the last 4 or 5 years, it's really, really taken a step up. And last year's freshman class was a part of our strategy to compete with that. So glad that you saw what we saw.
Yes. Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, the talent upgrade, from the last couple of years is I mean, it's evident, right? But like looking at this year, like we tip off here in a few days. I mean, you said it. It's time to go. Like, it's time not to. I mean, there's just a different feel with this group right now. And is it going to click right away? You hope so as coaches. But it's a long season. It's a marathon. But it's time to put our foot down, right, as a group. It's time to put our foot down. It's time to be able to deliver and take punches and continue to keep making adjustments as we go. But it's time for everybody just to grow up a little bit. We all do. Like, it's time for the program to grow up. It's time for our coaching staff to grow up. It's time for our players to grow up. It's time for us to not be afraid to put ourselves out there and take a step forward, a big step forward this year, because we're capable of it. It's not like this is not like a prideful statement from any of us right now. It's time. We have it. It's sometimes you can't be afraid to go out into the deep. You can't. And this group can't be afraid of that right now this year. We're being called to be able to take that step. And, and with that, there's new challenges with this program. And we're going to be, and I kind of briefly mentioned this to you guys a few days ago, like, we're going to have new challenges because of this now. And there's going to be different eyes, different, how to handle success, how to handle this. And I think we're mature enough with our leadership. We do have a younger group with talent, but as a whole, it's definitely that time. Like, there's no excuses like we were talking about beforehand. it's just time to get it done.
I
It really
agree.
is. I mean, there's not a whole lot else I can say about that. I know I'm starting to get a little fired up because we play here in a couple days, but it's just time. Like, I'm sick of it's time. It's just time to put we all need to put our foot down and just start racking it up. Really, at the end of the day.
Well, Coach, one thing I got to say, you say, you're getting fired up talking about it. I can't tell you how excited I am. And I'm an emotional dude because as watching your program grow, your freshman class last year with Sawyer and Aiden and Carl, I mean, that is what you needed because I always thought you were short in numbers because what the other teams had on you was depth.
Yeah, they had depth, and they had
and I haven't seen Travis Zimmerman, so I'm thinking from the freshman class with Travis Zimmerman is going to give you 7 guys at a minimum, maybe 8, that can go in and compete and score and play at this level. So I'm excited about this year.
Yeah, I mean, so are we. That's what we talk about all the time. And some of the hardest decisions we had to make are who's the 8 you're talking about, right? Because at any given point, guys are competing every single day for those positions. And there's some positions that are clear and there's some that aren't because the guys that are sitting at whatever it might be, 9, 10, 11, are competing so well, right, that there's just that constant upward pressure to get better. And
that may change your 8. That may change your 8 for that night.
Absolutely.
It will. Yeah,
absolutely.
And there's going to be situational things we have to do based on our opponent. We all know that. But like the biggest thing that you can put your finger down on what this preseason has been is the competition level. Mm-hmm. You can't get away with anything right now in practice if you're not bringing it because there's somebody that wants to take it and win the drill, win the day. Win a minutes from somebody, and iron sharpens iron, and we're able to have that right now. Which
Proverbs 27:17, iron sharpens iron. There you go.
Proverbs, there you go.
Well, Coach, you got your conference opener November 20th. We're real excited about being able to cover you this year. We're going to bring the Barons home games into everybody's living room. Check us out on the HighValleySportsOnline.com. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be back with our guest, Freshman Player of the Year in the conference, Sawyer Butler. Okay, we're back here at the Harp and Habit with Coach Joe Wallace and now sophomore Sawyer Butler. We want to draw your attention to this cheesecake that's on the table here, being promoted by the Harp and Habit, several different flavors. I'm on a quest to lose 12 pounds, so I won't be having any of it. But they'll be selling
really
these
good, though.
$8 a piece, and they're selling whole pies. So come on down here to Harp and the Habit, and if you don't get a cheesecake, come down here on Wednesday night for Wing Night, which is going great for them here. Saw a couple players here, but now back to the show here. Sponsored by the Harp and the Habit and Trinity Health Systems. Want to thank them and Lori Labishak for her continued sponsorship of what we do, as well as Gino Taglione.
Yep.
Okay, I want to welcome in Sawyer Butler. Sawyer, congratulations on your freshman. You've been awarded for that, but that's all done now.
Yep.
You're moving on from that, and we hope that you're ready because of High Valley Sports Online is. Give us your thoughts on this year's possible team.
We've talked about it all offseason. Like Coach Wallace said, it's time to put our foot down. Like the expectation now is to win games and grow from it.
Sawyer, I think you guys, other than the depth, the biggest, weakness of Franciscan University in my time in broadcasting them was the fact that you guys play defense. You play hard. I mean, you defend the bucket. You rebound well. There's always been a 6-7 minute stretch in the basketball game where you guys can't get the rim all of a sudden has a lid on it. You know, guys like you, I think, got to step up and make sure that don't happen this year.
Yeah, that was a big thing for us last year. I mean, we guard the ball extremely well. The coaches really keep beating that into our brain. Still this year we're going to guard. But bringing Malachi and Travis in this year with me and Josh and our other guys, it's just going to open up so many gaps, and we changed our offense up a little bit, and everybody's going to play to their role, and it's just going to help everybody succeed.
Well, I'll tell you something. Nobody believes in role players and playing to your role more than I do. I think that is so important to a success of a basketball team because there's only one ball.
Yep.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And guys have got to play to their role. I stress that so much. And how do you feel your team accepts that playing to your role?
We went to Austria in the offseason, and
you had a party. You partied. Don't tell me you played basketball.
No, we played basketball. We practiced every day. And then when we played, like, something clicked for all of us, and it was just like the ball was swinging. I mean, we probably dribbled like 7 times on offense, and it was just pass, cut, pass, score, get a bucket. And, like, everybody was contributing. So coming into this year, like, teams are going to have to scout us way differently because every guy that's on the floor can do a different thing that helps everyone else.
No, I know the answer to that, and I'm sure Coach Wallace does, but I want to ask you this question. What do you attribute that to?
Our practices.
What do you attribute that to, that everybody, that you're getting the ball reversals and everybody's accepting their role? What do you attribute that to?
The coaches, the coaching staff every practice, it comes up at some point. Like, we got to swing the ball. I mean, they beat it into our brain. Like, we're not a one-on-one team, and if we are, it's going to be rip a gap and score.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, going back to the Austria experience, there was a lot of good things out of there. And I think there was some falseness with the way we were guarded there, too, which I think we kind of go back to a little bit because that team, you know, it's just different. It's just a different style of basketball. I mean, going off with Sawyer, like, this is a year that we can really establish fully roles for certain guys. Does that make sense? Because before, as you know, we needed guys. If we were going to win, they had to play above their role, right? You had to have guys play above their role. We need guys just to be themselves, right? Be yourself across the board. What do you do really well? What do you do really well in what scheme we're in? And that's it, you know? That's it. Because the one thing it will, like, yeah, you're talking long stretches without scoring. Yeah, I mean, we are an athletic group. There will be times when it doesn't look pretty per se, basketball-wise. There's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. You know, as long as that ball is still moving, we're in attack mode with it, and we aren't taking a missed shot to the other end because it's a mental game. Basketball is a mental game, a mental toughness. And my thing is with this group, and I'm continuing to beat them into it, and we're going to do it all year, is that we have to be the most mentally toughest team on our schedule every night. Whether shots are falling, they're not, whatever. Because eventually, relentless mental toughness can wear somebody out, and you get them to start playing out of their game eventually. And that's where the foundation of this whole thing has to be.
Well, so you say something that I picked up on right away. You said playing down in Austria, you know, you were moving the ball around, and something clicked. And I take that as one thing. I take that in you guys are developing a little bit of confidence and faith in each other.
Trust.
You know what I mean? I mean that is crucial to the success of your team because when I coached on the high school level, I would teach my people, know who you're playing with, know your personnel. You know, I'm not going to throw the ball to Sawyer because I know Sawyer can't score, you know, per se. But I want to throw the ball over here to Danny Vogel because Danny Vogel's a scorer. And I don't mean that in a negative sense. I mean that as you running the team, you know, okay, we need a bucket. Mm-hmm. So who do I got confidence in that can get us this bucket? Mm-hmm. And it sounds to me like you guys are developing some trust in each other. I like that word, and that's a good thing.
Oh yeah, yeah, it is. That's being established. I can answer that for him. That definitely is, and what we said earlier in the show is there's more, right? Well, there is some depth now, and it's
Absolutely.
continue to figure out like how do different pieces fit together, right? And it's tough to even, you can feel like we'll have a good understanding of that by Friday, but that's going to be an involvement because as everybody knows, there's guys that when the lights are on are a different person when the lights are off in practice, right? It's just human nature, and there's guys that, maybe they do take a step back when the lights are on and vice versa. So that's going to be the evolution of this group this year, which is fine. But it's better to be, to have options to be able to move around than not have them.
And I think also, Sawyer, with everything that we've said here that's positive, I think, that builds pressure, but you feed – I take it as, I want people to expect a lot from me.
Yeah.
I want people to expect a lot from my teammates because we work hard and we are ready this year.
Yep. Coach Wallace, I mean, like I said, the expectations are high, so we got to do whatever that takes.
How do you respond to Coach Wallace? He doesn't coach you easy. He coaches you hard.
No, it's all coachability. I mean, Coach Martello recruits like great basketball players and also better humans, like guys that have been coached in high school or throughout their whole life who don't talk back, just take what he's saying because he's the coach. He knows what he's talking about. So he's trying to help us do what we can.
How you doing in school up there? What are you majoring in?
Now I'm business management. So, yeah, it's good.
Do you have Coach? Do you have Gino Taglione for a class?
I do not.
Make sure you take him.
All right.
Get that GPA up. All right, man. This has been the High Valley Sports Online. We're going to take a break here, and we'll be back with one of our sponsors, Coach Richard Poe, a 1975 graduate of the College of Steubenville.
Mm-hmm.
Sawyer, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
I want to wish you the best of luck, buddy.
Thank
Looking
you.
forward to seeing you.
Yep.
We'll be right back. Okay, we're back at the Harp at the Habit. The Harp and Habit. Owner Chris McCarthy. I want to thank everything he does for us. Joe, this comes in right here. This segment comes into what you got to do up at the university, and that is community relations.
Yes.
And thanks to you, we were able to bring on board with this sponsorship Richard Poe, a 1975 graduate of the College of Steubenville. Me and Richard enjoyed the times of Barron basketball in the 60s, which I can't help. Every time I talk about Barron basketball, I got to revert back to my days at the arena. It was a great way to grow up, and that's what you're looking to do. Richard was part of that. I want to try and get Richard back up on campus this year. You know, he got lots of money, Joe. Maybe you could get in his pocket a little bit. Richard, thanks for coming on, buddy.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ray.
Richard, how was your time at the College of Steubenville?
Well, we were 9 buildings on the hill.
Yep.
There's a little more than that today. The chapel was built when I was there, and I think they're making major renovations with that. Ray, you pointed out a very good situation, but coming off the hill and down into the community. And the other thing was, similar to that, is when we had games at St. John Arena, we had city buses that took us there. And there were probably 1,400 students when I was there.
What is there now, Joe?
3,000.
Wow!
3,000
With a big,
or more, I think,
with a big class coming in next year, I hear.
That's the goal. Continue to keep growing. Yep.
But we had nice crowds coming to St. John Arena, and if we'd have had the arena they have on campus now, more students would show up.
Yes.
We had a bunch of people go to St. John Arena, watch the Barons in the day.
Well, Richard, I'm going to tell you something right now. You come up to a game, and the student involvement at Barron basketball games, they have an outstanding student section, which I really, really, really enjoy it whenever they're there. But for you, Richard, we're going to put you up in the Carpelati room.
Yes.
You're going to get to eat chips and cookies and have a beverage.
Well, how much is that going to cost me, Ray? You think?
I don't know. That's between you and Joe Wallace.
Okay, all right.
As long as you sponsor High Valley Sports Online, you're good with me, brother. But you could talk at that about some other times.
Yeah.
So, Joe, you know,
Yes.
in dealing with sponsors like Richard Poe,
Yes.
well, what do you bring them into as far as the university goes?
What was that question?
I
again?
mean,
What do we bring?
I mean, how do you sell the university to potential sponsors?
Yeah, I mean, you said it, right? I mean, the community's seeing that the university is spreading off the hilltop, and the advantages that can be created for this place, the better the university does. So, yeah, local companies, with the Barron Club dinner, our golf outing, the ice rink that's going to be opening up here in a few weeks. That's all stuff it's all community engagement the university's trying to provide. Not for just a benefit for the university, but to bring community together from the hilltop down. And just speaking, the ice rinks just right over to my right. I mean, the university made a commitment to invest in building that, so Steubenville could actually have really a solid winter outdoor recreation. That ties in what's happening downtown with Christmas to provide stuff for our young people in this town. And it takes other people in the community to help us operate that. And we don't look at it like it's something that we're doing. We're looking at it something that we're partnering, especially with Trinity Health System. I mean, they're the ones that really gave us confidence and stepped in with us to put that rink in. And it's just stuff like that. The more that we can continue to show how much we actually care about Steubenville, which we really do, and that is not lip service. The university is success is based on us being here in Steubenville and nowhere else, and that's the fact.
Absolutely, Richard. You could see the big change from today's university to the university college when you were there.
It's just not. If you took pictures, you wouldn't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Just the departments. They just opened an engineering department, didn't they? A
Yes.
building for engineering, and
Yes.
of course the field house. I was there at a time where the student union opened,
Mm-hmm.
and they built onto that tremendously.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different world.
It is. It
It is. Yeah. And the new building that we just opened, it's really nice. It really is. But you look at it like with the student union opening, the J.C. Williams Center, Starvaggi, you have a lot of, what this valley was founded on was, steel, coal, and that's kind of how this place started to build, right? I mean, with J.C. Williams Center, Starvaggi, Carpelati, Gentile, like names like that, and the families that prospered here, but saw the value in this place back in the 60s, 70s to help it take these next steps. And you can't lose, you got to always rewind back to understand, the beginnings of everything. Yeah.
Absolutely, and it was still well known too. I mean, if you had a
Yes.
degree from the College of Steubenville, I was an education major,
Mm-hmm.
and at that time, and getting a teaching position, I had like 17 interviews.
Mm-hmm.
But we were known for our education department and the small college atmosphere that generated a major educational advantage over a lot of other schools.
Absolutely. It continues to this day.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it does continue to this day. I mean, even last night I went up to Butler, PA, to speak at a parish. The priest there, his dad was a graduate here in the 70s, and then there was a few other people there, that were from Steubenville, and it's just like the connections to the university in Steubenville. Anywhere you go, it's always going to be brought up somewhere.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's fun to see that being in little Steubenville, Ohio, and just so much pride that comes from Steubenville anywhere in this country. It's awesome.
Well, for a small faith-based university, it's come a long way and done a lot of good things. This is Ray Suckosh. We're at the Harp and the Habit. We got the cheesecake in front of us here that many different
good.
flavors. Come on down. You could buy a whole one. join us. So we're going to cut this off, and we'll be right back with Coach Joe Wallace and Coach Adam Martello. Thank you, Richard, for coming in. We appreciate
Thanks for having
your
me.
time.
Appreciate it. Good
This
seeing
is
you.
the High Valley Sports Online. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back for our final segment. This is sponsored by Trinity Health System. I want to thank everybody for joining us. We look forward to a big season from the Barons. Remember, they're going to have the Tip-Off Classic this weekend, the Hawks against Hunger Tip-Off Tournament up around at Hilbert College. 2 games there, come back. Going to play their home opener here against Penn State New Kensington. That's on November 14th at Finnegan Fieldhouse. And then November 16th, the Steubenville Classic, sponsored by our good buddy Joe Lucchino, the Cedar One group at Steubenville High School against Penn State Beaver, before conference play opens up. November 20th against Washington Jefferson will be Veterans Appreciation Night. A lot of veterans the university wants to say thank you to.
Yes.
Do yourself a favor. Come on up and catch a Barons basketball game. You will not be disappointed. Let's talk about the conference. What do you think, coaches? Good conference.
Yeah.
I don't want no predictions, but who can we look to see big things from in the conference this year other than the Barons?
You want to go ahead with that?
I think so. Geneva returns a whole lot of people, and they had an just unbelievable stat lines last year. I think they were pretty close to a 50, 40, 90 team last year. They made the NCAA tournament. I think they return almost everybody. I think they'll be pretty good. St. Vincent is always be very athletic. They always do a nice job recruiting a lot of really good athletes. I think they'll be really good. I think Bethany will take a big jump. I think Bethany will be much improved. But like we talked about earlier, the conference is just so good top to bottom that it's I don't know. I don't envy the coaches that do preseason rankings. I don't know how you could possibly do it.
It was impossible.
It's crazy.
Yeah, because, we respect everybody in this league. Anybody we're going against, we feel they're pretty good. They have a good talent. They're well coached. There's discipline, and there's established, coaches that have been in some of these places for a long time.
Established coaches.
Yeah, exactly. So, any battle we're going into, any given night, it comes down to matchups, who's feeling good and how you can disrupt rhythm in a Geneva or whoever we're playing. And we are I think everybody understands what our foundation of who we are is. And, it just comes down to really matchups and disruption, really. And who's shooting the ball well those nights.
If you had to pin down some of the keys to your success this year, what would they be?
Keys to our success?
Yeah.
Yeah, You mentioned it. Yeah, we do have to score the ball at a way more efficient clip. That's definitely has to happen, right? You can only put so much pressure on a defense. But that coupled with, like I said, the mental toughness, focus of playing the way we do, even through some stretches. Hopefully they're not ever 6 minutes long without scoring a bucket. But, maybe a couple disjointed possessions, right? Maybe we're out of rhythm a little bit. But that focus continues to not drop, because we can disrupt people defensively. We can get on the glass. We got to be one of the best teams in this league on the glass this year. We do need to get to the free throw line way more than we did last year, and we've got to take care of the basketball. We can control the rebounding margin, right? That's something that we should be able to own. Being able to get to the line, winning the free throw battle, and then taking care of the basketball and creating some more turnovers, that's extra possession. So even when, maybe shots aren't falling and there is some disjointedness, we will have extra opportunities, to win. And winning ugly is beautiful still. So no one ever apologizes to winning a basketball game ugly, because winning to me is so precious. And, that's why I'm starting to get uptight right now a little bit because, Friday night it's here. We're going to be on the road Friday night, and we want to start out 1-0, and we're playing. We just talked about Geneva. We're playing Lycoming University or college, who beat actually the team last year that upset Geneva in the NCAA tournament. And they're an established Division III program, and it's going to be a really good test for us right out of the gates, and we're looking forward to it.
What would be your itinerary? What will you do? Take a bus up there Friday morning?
No, we're actually. He gets me nervous all the time, so he gets more nervous than I do. So we're gonna practice Thursday here, and we're gonna leave Thursday evening. We're gonna spend the night in the hotel Thursday night, just so we're there. It's a 4.5 hour, four and change drive.
I like that.
Yeah, we're gonna get there. It's the start of the season. Let's get there. Just get everybody together. Let's just not chance any of that. It's the first time going to battle together. We'll get up there, then we'll have a shoot around in the morning, and then we'll get there for the first game because Hilbert and Buffalo State tip off the tournament. We'll go there, watch that, and then we're going to be ready to rock right afterwards.
Well, there you go. I just thought something that you could get in Richard Poe's pocket about. Maybe some pre-game meals or something like that. So.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Richard Poe, he's always there for you.
Yep.
I know that. He's living in Grove City now, but he loves Steubenville. His
Yes.
heart's always here. He's always coming back in for football games, and he'll be coming back in this winter. He's a permanent resident here of Franciscan Inn, Best Western.
Yep.
He got a nice connection over there. He got that through Ohio Valley Sports Online.
That's the way it goes around here, right?
Absolutely,
Raymond?
man. You got to know somebody,
You got to know somebody.
I want to thank everybody for watching, man. This is our first show. We'll check back with Coach Wallace in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Remember, we're at the Harp and Habit. Wednesday is wing nights. They got the cheesecake here that Coach Martello can't wait to get into.
I'm taking that thing down.
I'm on a
good.
diet, so I'm going to eat a light lunch here before I go get a workout in. But I want to thank Richard Poe from Poe Financial Services. Sawyer Butler, returning freshman of the year in the President's Athletic Conference, assistant coach Adam Martello, and head coach, Coach Joe Wallace. Check us out, OhioValleySportsOnline.com. We'll be your voice for Barons basketball. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.